Hello, I decided to react to this Dating Pills Explained video.
We got the new pill in town, you know, the new pill on the block, which is the black pill.
I actually don't know what this guy is about, but we'll see.
Yo, what's up guys? Josh here from Chain Nation, where we help people optimize their DMB through fitness. So I've noticed in today's day and age, people are always looking for a quick fix for things. Not able to lose weight, take a weight loss pill. Sad about something, take this antidepressant pill. Can't get excited? Take this small blue pill. In the same manner, I've noticed that there's a rise in ideologies that are summed up by pills, specifically 3 pills. These consist of the blue pill, the red pill, and the black pill. To my understanding, the blue pill and red pill dichotomy is derived from the Matrix, from the scene where essentially the protagonist Neo is presented with the opportunity to take a pill.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
You can either remain plugged into the current reality,
I would choose the blue pill, thank you.
which is the blue pill, or he can really see reality for the truth, which is taking the red pill. And essentially the red pill just wakes him up from the Matrix, and the blue pill essentially just puts him back to sleep. So with that being
Well, I'm nice already, so I'm good with blue pill, thank you.
said, basically what I wanted to do in this video is I wanted to cover each of the pills and just basically talk about the lessons you can learn from each one. Of course, with each pill, it's a spectrum. Like, let's say, you know, you can have someone who's like a blue pill, nice guy, versus like a ultra simp. Like, it's just like a spectrum, right? On the same front with a red pill, you can have just like a grounded guy or just like a woman hating guy. And then on top of that, just to keep things simple, I'm not gonna get too sweaty with each pill. Like, I understand there's a lot of nuances and the ideology runs deep, but I'm just gonna keep it pretty surface level because I don't have a PhD or anything in dating pill ideology, so I'm not gonna just like get too sweaty about it. But yeah, basically what I'll do is I'll cover the fundamentals of each pill, go over lessons you can learn from each pill, and then finally, how these lessons can be applied to your own dating life. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Okay, so the first pill I'm gonna cover is the blue pill. So basically the blue pill is kind of like what society teaches you. For example, like growing up, it's probably what your like mom has told you, or just in general, when you ask people for dating advice, it's like,
oh, just be yourself, just be a nice guy.
when you watch like movies such as like Disney movies, you see the main character and he's just like a super nice guy, always there for the girl, and then he ends up getting the princess or whatever. So that's kind of how
Yeah, that's what I want from a man. He has to be nice. But I mean, I can differentiate when a man is nice, when he wants to get something from me, and when a person is actually nice. Let me think. If I ever met a guy who was nice just because he was nice. Oh well, there was this a guy I was studying with. He had a wife and he let her to quit working because she had like issues with her co-worker or some issues at work. She was like working in a bank and he was making like 5K a year. He had, I think, 2 kids or 1, 2, I think 2 kids. And he was so polite, he was so nice. I was like, but he wasn't like fake nice. He wasn't cursing. He was like, wow, you know, that's. And he was also always taking care of the kids when he had time. He would be like, wow, that's like a perfect man who is working, who wants his wife to feel good. He isn't forcing her to pay bills, who is taking care of the kids, who's not expecting her to cook 3 meals a day. Like, wow, amazing. Like, man like that is like 0.0000001%. Usually I would find guys that pretend to be nice just to get something out of me, like they wouldn't need me for like 4 months, then they start texting because they feel lonely and they put this nice guy act like they care about you, but actually they want your validation because they're lonely. Nice looking women are not talking to them, so you're the only one in the back in the lane. They have you in their contact, so you're the last one, no? So that's like a nice guy who will text you because he's lonely, but he like pretends, oh, I'm nice, I texted you, you know, this is how nice I am, I texted you once in 6 months, you know. Nope, that's not a nice guy. No, and the nice guy is not a pushover. Like, differentiate these two.
how I sum up the blue pill ideology. And actually the blue pill strategy works in some cases. So the main case I'll say that it works is basically if a guy's super attractive and the girl's already into the guy just based off of like looks alone or whatever, I think the blue pill works pretty well just because.
No, I wouldn't see that. You know, like semi good looking dudes that pretends to be nice, but I still kind of suspicious of their motives, you know. Like I never found a guy, well, my ex was like that, but he was pretending to get something out of me. He didn't get it, so in the last days he showed his real face because he was like, he couldn't get what he wanted, so these people, in quotes, nice guys, show their true colors sooner or later. You just have to wait and see for yourself.
I mean, in that case, honestly, like the guy doesn't really need to do much. He just needs to like not mess it up and then he'll get the girl. However, I think for the vast majority of guys, like the strategy absolutely doesn't work. It results in like nice guy syndrome, which is a concept covered in a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. And I actually recommend reading that book, but basically the premise of the nice guy syndrome is if you think of someone that's like super philanthropic, they like do stuff with charities or they're always donating their time. Usually it's kind of like a no strings attached kind of thing where like they just do nice things and then they don't expect anything in return.
Yeah, that would be Keanu Reeves. Man, I love this guy. Like Keanu Reeves is my like let's see. This is my perfect man. Not because of looks, but like, have you seen his picture? So yeah, I was just reading a message. So what I was talking about, yeah, I like men that do things just because, not because, you know, they want attention or something. They do good things because they're good people. And that's like perfect man. I would consider this a perfect man.
The problem with nice guys is they'll be super nice to girls, for example, and like maybe they have a friend that they have a crush on and she needs a ride from the airport and they'll pick her up. But instead of just doing the nice deed with no strings attached, secretly deep down these guys expect the girls to like them.
Yeah, I don't like that. They will be your unquotes friend and act nice. Once you give in, they just dump you and like, oh, I got you, you're so stupid. Now they feel like they raised their value because they're actually insecure inside. So they just, you know, they do that so they feel better than you. Like, yeah, these are not good men. That's manipulation, you know. I don't like manipulation. I actually prefer nasty people. At least you show you're nasty, okay? Now I know what I'm dealing with. And these nice guys, like you can sense it when somebody's like expecting something in return.
Or like give them some attention or whatever. So in reality, these nice guys are really not so nice because they're really just doing these nice things in hopes of like one day getting the girl, right? Which I think like if you're gonna be nice to someone and do like something, you should just kind of do it. You shouldn't like expect anything in return because that just becomes like super, honestly, that just like kind of defeats the whole purpose of being a nice guy in my opinion. So that's kind of the thing with nice guy syndrome, right? Because a lot of these like more blue pill guys, they'll just like go out on a limb and, you know, listen to these girls' problems, buy them stuff or whatever, and then
Well, I never found a man who was like buying me stuff without expecting anything. I mean, well, I dated a few men that, one man, wait, let me, yeah, only one man bought me one thing, but it was kind of cheap, like 10 euros, so I don't know. We only met once and on the first date he bought me this thing. I said, oh no, please don't, but he still bought it. But of course it wasn't expensive. He had rich parents and he had this business. He was like renting apartments or something. He had like yeah, he was from a rich family, so we went on this one date and that was it.
the girls just like keep them in the friend zone. So it doesn't really work out. That's kind of why I think like the blue pill strategy doesn't work too well for a majority of guys, just because it results in like these super nice guys that end up being like kind of resentful deep down. And it also like results in like simping, right? Because like simping is essentially just like putting girls on a pedestal to the max level. And the thing with the blue pill dating advice is if you are talking about, for example, like dating and like what you should do when you're just kind of amongst like the general population, I think like saying like,
Oh, just be yourself, be a nice guy.
like that just sounds the most PG and accepted, right? So that's kind of what you hear in public and like what's the default norm. But in my opinion, it's not really what works best. It's not the optimal strategy. In theory, it sounds like, you know, oh, just be a nice guy and the girl will eventually come. But unfortunately, that's not the case, or else like OnlyFans wouldn't be a billion-dollar industry, and simping wouldn't be like rampant these days with like sugar daddies and just guys buying like attractive girls nice things for no reason other than the girl being a girl. So that's kind of my take on the blue pill and what it stands for. I will say though, there are a few things you can learn from the blue pill strategy and like a few takeaways you can apply in your own life. So basically, I think the blue pill stuff is like pretty good if you've kind of maxed out your attraction and like looks, just because it really balances out, you know, yourself. You don't want to be too much of an asshole when you're like dating, in my opinion, or else like it's fine for hookups if you're trying to like find a girlfriend. I feel like usually girls don't like assholes for like long-term dating. And on top of that, like just being yourself once you've worked on yourself and you have cool hobbies and things to talk about is actually pretty good advice. Because I feel like for me, for example, 2 years ago, if I was just to be myself, I didn't really have as much going on for me aside from just like working and some boring stuff. But now that I have more cool hobbies, I can talk about like fitness coaching, YouTube, natural bodybuilding, etc. I think being myself on like dates is actually pretty good advice. So I would say like that's another thing where it applies true. But again, you got to optimize your DMV first, and then you can kind of reap the benefits of the blue pill strategy. If you're trying to apply the blue pill strategy with nothing else, like unless you're just like a genetic specimen, you're just like a good looking guy, then it's probably not gonna work. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the blue pill section in terms of fundamentals and takeaways. All right, next up is the red pill. So basically, I think the red pill doesn't have a great rep in modern society because there's a lot of people that kind of get stuck in being angry in terms of with the red pill, since the way most people discover the red pill is they go through like a traumatic experience, such as a breakup or getting dumped, and then they discover the red pill as a way to like cope with like their pain, like, oh, I'm never gonna, you know, experience this like getting dumped again, this feeling of.
So red pill is basically being an incel, hate all women, and shoot up the schools.
Like just being rejected. So then they kind of get stuck in this like angry phase and they never really escape it.
I noticed that. I remember where there was this like a taxi driver, Uber driver, and some woman, I think there was something with this woman, and he started shouting all these things. I think he didn't want to drive or something, and he told her to get out. Yeah, like you can tell he hates women. I really don't understand these men who are blaming their problems on women. You are a man, like average man earns 60k while women only earn 39k. You know, and just you have all the opportunities in the world and you're blaming women. Well, if you're lazy, it's on you, you know. Actually, I have these two internet friends. Both are from rich families. One is lazy, sits all day at home, kind of autistic, and another is like very talkative and has a lawyer's degree. You see, like both are from same very rich families, and both had many opportunities. One's like lazy in his head, another is like going and doing something. So if you didn't make a good living when you're from wealthy family, like it's on you.
Because essentially the red pill acknowledges that men and women are biologically different, therefore they have different dating strategies. Essentially they preach like watching what females do instead of what they say, so like observing like their behaviors instead of like their words. For example, the same girl who says like the best dating advice is to just be yourself will gravitate themselves towards the like Chad looking guy, or like, you know, the better looking guy who's like cooler and kind of a douchebag versus like the super nice like simpy guy. Additionally, they have a few other like principles where like they don't really believe in the one, so like they have a term called one-itis, which is essentially like, you know, when you're growing up you might think, oh, I'm gonna find like the one girl and like marry her or whatever, like the more like blue pill ideology, but the red pill like doesn't believe that's a thing. Like it kind of just believes that a lot of these ideas and beliefs that you have ingrained in your head growing up are just kind of society teaching you the wrong way to like date, or like the wrong things about female nature. And there's a lot more of these type of concepts, such as like hypergamy, which essentially like girls are always trying to find like the best option for themselves in terms of dating. There's also like dualistic dating.
Well, hypergamy, I would say men are also hypergamous. Or also, I know these men who married at like 25, but they're flirting with every woman they see. Yeah, so don't say only women are looking for the best option. I would say women are less likely to be with a man she doesn't like just because of the something. It's usually men in their 20s, early 30s, marrying these women because they pay half the bills, they help them, I don't know. Maybe they're in the closet or something, and these men are just using them just to build their credit score. So it's not only woman thing. I actually see this from men's side even more. I do not know even one woman who chose to be with a guy because he didn't like him, but for some reason they're with them. Nope. I don't have such examples.
Strategy, two dating strategies.
Well, I have many examples of a man doing that.
That girls implement. One is for like reproduction, the other is for like survival. So like the survival one would be more like finding a guy who's stable, a good provider, supportive, and the kind of reproduction one would be more so like finding a guy who has the best genes and like is the best looking or whatever to pass on. So they have a bunch of these different concepts that they preach. And then finally they have a concept called the sexual marketplace, aka SMP. And this is actually similar to like what I talk about, which is like the dating marketplace and like dating market value, because they have SMV, which is sexual market value. And the premise of this is basically like every guy has like a value in terms of in dating, which is their SMV. Pretty much it says as guys get older, their SMV increases because they have more money, more established in the career, etc. It talks about like how girls have like a different trajectory of SMV, and this comes from The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. So I think that's like the best book in terms of describing like what the red pill actually is. However, I think nowadays with the red pill, like there's a lot of like YouTubers and like people on social media who kind of, you know, they identify as red pill YouTubers, but I feel like honestly they're just like woman hating guys and they're just like shitting on girls and they just do it kind of for entertainment value, and then like I guess they get pretty popular. I think one channel that's actually pretty good in terms of the red pill is Kevin Ray Wilder, which I'm gonna get on my channel to interview, but he drops really good information and like he's a super smart guy. You can kind of just tell with the way he presents his information, backs it up, and like analyzes things. So I would say check his channel out in terms of for red pill stuff. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the red pills. The best way I can think of it is leveraging the understanding of female nature and female dating strategies and then forming the male dating strategy based upon that information is kind of like the way I think of the red pill. While fundamentally I do think like the red pill does have a lot of really great information, and kind of knowing and being aware of, you know, some of these red pill truths per se is definitely like a prerequisite for dating for most guys in my opinion, just since once you have this knowledge of like how girls behave or whatever, then you can kind of like start seeing things for what they are instead of like, you know, being roped along. One good example is like you can avoid getting friend zoned.
It's funny how Rollo Tomasi says never get married, but he's married.
Or like wasting your time on a girl who clearly doesn't see you as more than friends. And the thing is, you can just like leverage that time you would have wasted chasing this girl to improve yourself or like find better options. I do think like the red pill's pretty good. However, I will say that like a lot of guys are like super bitter in the community. So while the principles and tenets of the red pill ideology are pretty solid in my opinion, I think the community itself has a lot of toxicity, and like the whole purpose of like, you know, using the red pill is to like, you know, optimize your dating life. If you want kids, find a girlfriend or wife, right? But the problem is like a lot of these guys end up just like hating girls, and then there's like a group called like MGTOW, which is like men go their own way, where like just like kind of opt out of dating altogether. So that's like a one caveat. And I actually think like in general you want to take everything with a grain of salt. This is with everything, not just like these dating pills. Even something as simple as fitness advice, right? Just because one thing works for someone doesn't mean it's gonna work for everyone. Like everyone's different. So the way I kind of view like these ideologies is like you should like take it in, analyze it for yourself, and then apply what would work in your own life, and then kind of disregard the rest. Just because once you start like thinking an ideology holds truth and you don't question it yourself, then you just become like a cult member, and that's kind of how cults are.
You know what? I would give one advice: just be authentic, okay? If you feel a woman doesn't like you and she's just being nice, just find who likes you, okay? I think people have to build a connection and not to be so superficial. No, I would prefer a person with very good communication skills. Not someone closed off, you know, someone open. You know, these men are lacking something, so find that thing you're lacking and improve. Like, many men might not find me attractive. I'm not creating these videos, oh look, he doesn't want me, like, oh, men only want hot chicks and I'm not hot chick. Men should look at personality. Who cares?
formed if you think about it. Like, it's like you don't really question the principles and values of whatever belief or like system you're following, and then you just like blindlessly.
You know, if you cannot get the woman, maybe you're too shallow. Let's look at some things else. Get a normal looking woman. Why you need like 10 out of 10 model or somebody else? Same, they are talking about how women cannot get a man who makes 100k, let's say million. And okay, that should be the same for you. You know, why are you looking at women that are 10 out of 10? Look at someone who is like 5 out of 10. You know, same applies to you. Why are you hating women when you're not attractive? Look, let attractive people to be with one another, okay? I don't understand.
Follow it, that's essentially a cult. So you don't want to become a cult member, you know. I know like Hamza, the YouTuber, is becoming low-key a cult leader, but yeah, that's what I'll say about the red pill fundamentals. So in terms of the takeaways of the red pill, I think the biggest thing is like accepting the harsh truths of reality. For example, like a lot of the stuff that the red pill teaches is a little like polarizing. So a lot of guys, like they have the concept called like, you know, they won't swallow the pill or whatever. It's like you tell someone about red pill truth and there's like,
No, that's not true.
like you tell a guy that's like, oh, you know, like there's no one, right? There's gonna be like a lot of girls that could be like the theoretical one. But if this person that you're talking to just has this idea so ingrained in him that there's gonna be just the one and like that's the girl he's gonna marry, then he's gonna reject this like idea, right? So I think like one good thing is like once you kind of accept the red pill truths, you start seeing reality for what it is. So like for me, example, right? Let's say with dating, I understand that some girls don't like short guys. I also understand that some girls don't like Asian guys, right? If I disregarded those facts completely, then I would honestly be delusional just because everyone has their preferences and, you know, I can't just think like these things don't matter. The way I kind of combat that is like, I pretty much acknowledge that this is how reality is, and then I just focus my time on the girls that will give me a chance.
Or he could just get an Asian woman, you know?
Because if you start focusing your time on things that like don't reap good ROIs, that's just like...
Yeah, exactly. Why are you focusing on things that do not work? How about you focus on things that do work? You know, and then most of your problems are solved.
That is like not a good use of your time, right? You really want to optimize your time, like I mentioned in previous videos. Time is like one of the only finite resources in life. Like you don't get lost time back, right? So you want to make sure you're spending it wisely. On top of that, I feel like a lot of the TRP fundamentals kind of teach you to be more of like a masculine, quote unquote, alpha guy. And I think in today's day and age where like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like with the younger generation, people are becoming like, you know, a little less masculine or like traditionally masculine. And I think that's really important just because I personally believe in like the traditional masculine values. And then finally, I firmly believe in the concept of the sexual marketplace as well as sexual market value. Like my whole channel, if you think about it, is talking about the dating market value, which is very closely tied with the sexual market value. And this is because I personally believe that the best dating strategy is to optimize your DMV. Once you have a high DMV, like if you talk to a girl, she's gonna react much more favorably. And it's like if you're selling, right? If you improve the product, then you don't have to sell as hard versus like, let's say you don't optimize your DMV, but you work really hard on pickup and like...
Wait, I just got a copyright strike. Wait, your stream was interrupted. What? So how other people can upload videos and I can't? Like what? Cannot believe it. So of course maybe I can record the video and then upload. Wow, I hope this one is not copyrighted.
PUA stuff, then you're gonna have like a shitty product, but you'll just have really good selling skills. So you're gonna basically invest way more time selling versus like less time selling and just working on yourself. And I think DMV kind of transcends just dating because self-improvement in general carries into other aspects of life. That includes like your career, day-to-day, like mindset, etc. So that pretty much sums up the section about the red pill. All right, last but not least, we got the new pill in town, you know, the new pill on the block, which is the black pill. So basically, as you guys saw, I interviewed a famous black pill YouTuber called Wheat Waffles, and I think he has really good information describing the black pill. I don't actually think he's 100% black pilled because he's not like a doomer, like nihilistic guy who thinks like, it's over if you're not like a 6 foot tall plus Chad. He believes that there's ways to improve yourself, which is why I don't think he's like 100% black pilled.
That was the
you're not like
symbol.
a 6 foot tall plus Chad. He believes that there's ways to improve yourself.
I would say that man maybe would look better without a beard and with longer hair, maybe dreads. I don't know. I really think he would look better with dark hair. Yeah. Well, he's still not 8, come on. I would say he's like 4. Like, he's just not my type, but he's definitely not. Maybe he's 8 for other women, but not me.
Yourself, which is why I don't think he's like 100% black pilled, but he does make good content in terms of in that space.
I don't know what it takes to be so obsessed with looks. with
And essentially the black pill believes that all that really matters in dating is your looks, and your looks are primarily
Of course, for men.
determined by
looks is-
genetics. So basically they have like a rating system where it's primarily based off like your facial structure and like the science of facial aesthetics combined with like your height, race, like a few other factors such as like your hair, hairline, whether you're balding. I know they have like an acronym called sub-5, which is
Oh my god, these men are just so deep into this sub-5.
like short, ugly face, bald, fat,
Oh my
inches,
God.
veteran,
Frame, what is frame?
old, and finally
Veteran?
ethnicity. So basically your number on a 10-point
Ethnicity. Old. D. Inches. Inches of what? No way. You really think that if you have a small dick you will not get a woman or something? Like, who's asking what is your dick size on first date or even 10 date? Oh, this
scale drops if you have like one of these like sub-5 characteristics. And this rating system is based off of like Western beliefs and like, I guess, like attraction. So essentially to sum things up, like black pills believe looks are everything. And they think that you can't
Yeah, like black pilled men are just, they're very controlling, have these obsessions.
really do too much to like improve your looks. So you get a lot of these guys that are like,
Oh, it's over because you're like under 5'8",
or like
it's over because you're not white.
they have something called like JBW, which is like just be white. The black pill is like low-key super racist. And I was
Just be white. Well, I would say I find most of white men unattractive. Typical Irish men unattractive, or English.
say for like my Asian viewers out there, like don't really listen to it too much because they believe like if you're Asian, you're kind of screwed as well in Western dating, which is like clearly not the case. I know plenty of guys that do well in dating as an Asian guy, especially in the US. I've had success myself just from like my own experience. As you guys saw, I went on like a ton of dates in the past 3 years. That kind of just shows you that just because
He went on tons of dates, so why he's still not married? Because he says like, men are choosing, so why you didn't choose anyone?
there's stereotypes in place or like statistics that say like Asian guys don't do well in dating, doesn't mean you need to succumb to that statistic. So yeah, the black pill community just basically spends a lot of time like rating other guys and then like kind of shitting on girls, like using examples from like TikTok or whatnot to show like,
Oh, like look, the girl treats Chad this way.
you know, the theoretical Chad, which is like the ideal human, that's like just a genetic specimen. To be honest, like I don't really
I don't believe in Chads. Let's see, who is the most attractive man ever? Well, I like Keanu Reeves, you know, but mostly because of his personality. His looks would be like 8, still not a 10. It's really hard for me to rate men by numbers, you know. I just, because like looks and personality, you combine everything, you know. I would say his personality is like 100. Like looks 10. Like I couldn't find a perfect person, woman or man. I don't know. I just don't know. Like 10 should be like perfect, you know, for a woman. No, a perfect man. Like, I would say I would rate men very unattractive, or like not my type. Or let's see, like another would be like average, I would give him a chance, and another one would be like very attractive, but then if he's attractive, I'm looking at his personality, and his personality is probably very douchey, and then I just discredit him. So that's about it. It's like there is no perfect man. I haven't found them yet.
I think a lot of Chads in real life exist. Like I rarely see like a Chad looking guy. They're pretty rare. The few Chads I know from my own social circle, like they don't really kill it in dating because usually they have like super high standards that are like you know, they'll be like, oh, this girl's like too.
Oh, one time I went on a date and that man looked to me at that time like 10 out of 10. Yeah, but he wasn't interested in me, so after that I never found such an attractive man in my whole life. Yeah.
Ugly, and you look at the girl they're saying is ugly, and you're just like, what the hell, dude? This girl's like pretty hot. So like, it's kind of funny because the black pillars like mentally masturbate to this notion of the Chad, and like they think like the Chad is gonna have the perfect life. But then you see like actual Chads in real life, and really they're also not pleased because
Real Chads. I think the problem is because these men are rating these other men themselves. Oh, he's a Chad. How do you know? Like every woman has their own preferences. For example, other women say Brad Pitt is so attractive, and I'm looking at Brad Pitt. Ew. To me, he's like 2 out of 10. No, I don't like to use numbers, but like, I don't know, it's just like off-putting to me. Like his face, he looks so. I don't know. I just look at his face, and he just looks like not a good person, which he is. He left his wife for a younger woman, and he said that his wife was a mistake. Then he was beating his other wife and his kids, and he's alcoholic. Yeah, so I was right. Sometimes just pick up on the face. It's just not how someone is looking, but I like to see humanity in a person. Yeah. So, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio, I don't know if people find him attractive, but I never found him attractive. Even when he was young, he's just totally not my type. Like, I would say Enrique Iglesias is the most attractive from celebrities, and still he was the most attractive maybe from 2098 to maybe 2010 or 8. You know, he was most attractive in some range. He wasn't the same attractive for forever. Like his looks have changed. When he was very young, he had this like very rounded face, and then he kind of changed. So, and now, you know, he's not as good looking as he was before, because like, isn't he like 50 something years old? Maybe he's like 49 now, or 50. So yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all about like expectation versus reality, right? So if the Chad expects a girl that's like unrealistic and he doesn't find that girl, he's still not going to be happy. So like in terms of how happy the Chad is with his dating life versus like just like the regular guy with regular standards, it's almost the same if you think about it. The Chad might only think that a girl who's like a 9.5 or above is deemed appropriate, and the number of girls that like statistically are 9.5 or above is going to be much lower than like the normal guy who will take any girl that's above a 6, right? So at the end of the day, like although the concept kind of seems to make sense, like the Chad's going to have it all, like there's more to life than just looks. I think looks are super important, and I think you should do what you can to optimize your looks. But the thing
Super important, yeah. You know, when people obsess over looks, like, I wouldn't waste my energy on stuff like that.
thing is, looks aren't the end all be all. Like you can definitely like compensate, especially in dating, with other things such as like your game or like status.
Ways to level up cope.
For example, like if you're a celebrity or like have a lot of social media followers. And I think a lot of these black
I really don't know how social media followers help you. If a woman is like over 30, like she wouldn't care about stuff like that, you can only impress women under 25 with stuff like that. No, I'm not sure.
pillars, to be honest, like are just younger guys that are like under 25 years
Of course, if they want to date illegal teenagers, go ahead.
old, and they just haven't had a lot of life experiences themselves, so they're just kind of like in an echo chamber where it's like kind of reinforcing, you know, all these ideas. And the final thing I'll say about the black pill is they take a lot of their data off of online dating and like Tinder statistics.
So who was red pill? Red pill. Red pill. So what is the difference between red pill and black pill? So black pill is basically MGTOW. Like, I don't see much of a difference.
And the problem with online dating statistics is it doesn't encompass all girls. Like, not every single girl uses online dating. And then on top of that, the way girls use online dating is very different than how they behave in real life. Like, I definitely like talked to girls before and like have had success with them. And I know for sure they wouldn't have swiped right on me on an online dating app. So that kind of just shows like, you know, the way girls behave online is like different than they do in person in real life. And another reason that is because guys are like much more visual based, whereas I feel like girls aren't as visual based. Like, yeah, looks matter and you kind of.
Yeah, I would agree. And women are not like, they see you even though you're good looking. I wouldn't sleep with a man because he looks good. Like, I don't know you, you know, I don't love you. Some women are so easy, like, but it's not like every woman is like that. You know, if you want some specific type of woman, you need to search in specific places.
Kind of want to hit the threshold, but in terms of like what they look for in a guy, it's not all just like looks. It's more so like.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's say he looks good. Okay, I check the box. And if his personality sucks, he's some porn addict, I just, no, I'm not interested. You know, he might be looking like 10, but if his personality is trash, then actually I was talking to few basketball players from United States. One was such a douche. No, I just couldn't. Actually, like, if we actually met, I would be dead already. He was very aggressive, cursing, and for no reason. Like, he had some anger issues. Another one was thinking maybe I was like a free prostitute or something. So, and he was like a millionaire. He was in NBA before, and he was playing basketball in my city. So I told him that, oh no, it's not my profession. And he was like, I'm not paying. And I'm like, I know. And that's how it ended. These men are so entitled. They think that if they have a certain job, then women should just give out their bodies to them. Like, for what? No.
Behavior and kind of what they bring to the table and like what their potential is. See, that's when it's the black pill and what they believe. So in terms of takeaways from the black pill, you might be kind of surprised that I'm saying like you can learn something from the black pill, but I really do think you can. I think the main thing you can learn from the black pill is you got to make sure you do whatever is in your control to optimize your looks, just because with all other variables being equal, like I do think looks like helps out. Like I said in other videos, the way I got treated at work, in my dating life, just with friends was much better once I like got rid of my acne primarily and then also lost some of my body fat. Like I know people will never admit it, but like subconsciously you're just gonna, you know, treat someone that's like better looking more favorably. So I'll say like in your own life, you should try to just
I like that this guy is very like straightforward and admits that people will treat you based on looks, especially men.
work out, you know, max out your aesthetics in the gym, which is like really not.
Well, I really don't like bulky guys, so Wendy's. And I saw so many videos where men would think that women like these men that are taking steroids. Well, I really don't know what average woman prefers a man to look like the physique. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they don't want just like a steroid looking dude. No. These men that are on stage, that's just not not natural.
Not that hard if you think about it. From a practical perspective, you can really achieve great results just from 1 to 2 years of natural lifting, as long as you're implementing progressive overload and then you're consistent, eating enough calories and getting your protein in. It's really not that difficult. It's more so about getting that consistent regimen down and like adhering to it. On top of that, you want to just make sure you take care of your skin, take care of your fashion. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is like it's like a one-time thing. Like you fix it once, you buy a new wardrobe, you get a skincare routine down, you're pretty much set for the rest of your life. So you just gotta like take that initiative, identify where you can improve your looks, and then just take actions to do so. So that's like basically the one thing I personally think is good to take away from the black pill is just like looks matter and you shouldn't discount looks. All right, so what does this mean for you, right? So I'm just gonna like wrap all this together and like summarize. So in my opinion, the best dating strategy is to optimize your dating market value. So like that kind of pulls from the red pill with the sexual market value concept. Really apply that, see how you can bring yourself from like a 4 to a 6. The actual objective value doesn't really matter a ton. It's more so about the difference. You can go from like a 4 to a 6, for example, out of a 10-point scale. And that jump is gonna be honestly more drastic than from a 7 to an 8 in terms of deltas, like the difference in.
I really don't know how can you improve your looks from 4 to 6. For a man it's easy, of course, if you have a beard and the hair, yeah. But for a woman, like it's impossible unless you do a plastic surgery or lose weight. But let's say you don't have any weight to lose, so what can you change then? Hairstyle will not change your face, you know. Like it's very possible for a man to look better, but for a woman, not really.
Before and after. So number 1 is just to work on yourself and your dating market value. Number 2 is to understand like the red pill and the black pill has truth. The red pill stuff does a pretty good job of talking about how girls behave, and then the black pill stuff does a good job of, you know, getting the point across that looks matter. However, you should take it with a grain of salt and a positive mindset. The way I think of it is you take that knowledge and then you just understand it, and then you see how you can like leverage it to like improve your own dating life. So I'll say the thing about looks, right, is a lot of girls have like a looks threshold. Once you pass that threshold, you shouldn't like get too fixated on looks alone, because if you only have looks and you don't have a good personality and game, it'll be pretty hard for you to do well in dating, just because humans are social creatures and like you want to be normal. You don't want to just be like a guy who's like good looking but has no personality, or is like a little socially uncalibrated and off. That usually doesn't work out too well unless you like just don't talk. But yeah, so I'll say like step 2 after you optimize your DMV is to understand the harsh realities of dating, and then, you know, use that knowledge to your advantage. If you apply step 1 and 2 and then you like, you know, optimize your DMV and then put yourself out there and like go on dates, and then you have a few options. Step 3 is actually to just like be yourself, be a nice guy. You don't be like overly nice where you're like simpy or whatever, but you know, if you want to keep the girls around, it's best to just be a good human and like be nice. And the reason I say be yourself is like with a lot of these,
You know, when they say nice, if you hate women, just go to therapy. Yeah, like if you hate women, just go to therapy. That means there's something wrong with you. You have some trauma or something. So if you actually have this animosity towards women, but you just pretend to be nice, actually when you hate them, it's not a good thing. And of course, women will feel it because of your energy. So I would say do not date if you have some unhealed trauma from relationships. Heal first, then date, and also work on your money, because you know you don't want to get broke on these dates.
P-way guys, they'll memorize scripts, memorize lines, they'll put up a front just to like bang a girl and sleep with her. But then once that happens, like you can't just keep lying to the girl, or else it's like not sustainable. Like I feel like anytime you lie,
Yeah, I don't like these pickup artists. Nope. That's why I wouldn't have sex with men in like 6 months at least.
to like get something, whether that's like a guru, for example, in business or whatever, like eventually catches up to you. Like I believe in karma, so you don't want to be lying. You know, step 3 is just like kind of be yourself and balance things out. You don't want to be too much of like an alpha guy per se, because then like, yeah, you might sleep with a lot of girls, but you're not going to keep them around. So yeah, that's one of my takeaways on how to apply each pill to your own life.
I would say have been sleeping with many women is like no to me, because men like that do not change. If it's so easy for you to just sleep with a person you just met, who's gonna stop you when you're married? Nobody's gonna stop you. That means a person has no like moral compass. You can kill a man for money. You can cheat. You can lie to get money. You can make all these schemes, you know, do all this scamming to get money. You can lie to get something out of these people. So if a man had many partners, that just tells me he's on the psychopathic side. So that's a big no-no for me. If if a man had many women, he's like a psychopath. That's actually what Jordan Peterson said, and I agree with this.
Life, and the lessons you can really learn from the blue pill, the red pill, and the black pill. All right, so if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Please make sure to smash that thumbs up button to really help out the YouTube algorithm. And please let me know down below in the comments like what your thoughts are. Did I miss any points? Do you agree, disagree? I love hearing back from you guys, so just like drop a note down below. So basically to sum things up, what I did in this video is I covered the fundamentals of the 3 dating pills, basically the blue pill, the red pill, and the black pill. And then I also talked about a few key takeaways from each of the dating pills. And then finally I brought it together by talking about how you can apply bits and pieces of each pill to your own dating life. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, so that's it. This was kind of like balanced video. It was like not bashing women. I cannot stand these men that are bashing women. Well, I actually watch a few videos that are bashing men, but only bad men. And these men are always bashing women. Yeah, all women. They're never saying, oh, there are good women out there. They always saying this black or red pilled. All women are bad. All women are this. All women are that. Nope. So I hope that's it for today. I guess that other stream I had was probably blocked because it was from Jubilee, whatever it was called. So they detected that it was copyrighted, so they cut off my stream. So sad. It's okay, I will come back with more reviews and see you next time.